So we've come to a much nicer part of the wetland reserve. This is more like it, I think. I don't understand what makes this feel so good, but it looks absolutely perfect. It looks like an ecology imbalance. Shane's going to test some of the water, and he's going to explain to me now in a minute why this is actually imbalanced. How can we tell? Okay, so Shane, you reckon you can tell me, or at least give me some hard facts about what makes this a balanced ecosystem?
Well, we've all seen a polluted lake before. We know bodies of water that don't work. They're the ones we see on TV all the time. They're highly polluted ones. They're really green stuff. So we know that doesn't work, but I can't see inside the water. I don't know what's in there that's stopping it working. So what we can do here is we can take a small little sample of this water. This is a regular bug viewer used to look at creepy crawlies at home.
Okay.
We can fill this with water and we can submerge this meter into that water.
Yeah.
And if we leave it there for long enough and allow it to settle for a couple of seconds, it'll tell us a couple of really interesting things about the water. It'll tell us the temperature of the water. It'll tell us the electroconductivity.
That's the
In other
salt.
words, the pH of the salt, yeah. But it'll also tell us something really interesting about how clean this water is. And that's what we call the total dissolved solids, or the TDS. Right, Fearghal.
Yep. What
So,
are we doing now?
We've got our 3 bug viewers here. I'm going to fill these with
Yeah.
water. I'm going to take off the lid and not drop it into the lake.
Please don't.
'Cause they're expensive.
I'm not going in.
I'm going to fill this with some of this water, some of this lake water here.
Yeah.
I can see there's lots of stuff growing in it, but again, I can't tell yet. I haven't tested it yet, okay?
Okay.
So we're going to fill this up. We're going to bring it up
Right.
and leave it right there.
Okay.
So in the meter goes.
Okay.
It's settling, it's settling, it's settling, and there we go. We've got our reading. So I'm going to press hold on this meter,
Yeah.
and I'm going to turn it around so you can see it.
Okay. I'm dying to see this. This is so cool.
Okay. So here we go. Our pH is 9.03.
What does that mean?
Okay.
Is that what
If
you
it's above
expected?
7, so 7 is neutral pH, right?
Okay.
7 to 14 is basic. So what type of water have we got here?
Okay, we've got some basic water.
We've got some slightly
but
basic
not,
water.
Not too basic.
Not too basic. It's actually a lot higher than I thought it would be,
Really?
so it's probably quite salty in this area. So we're going to measure a few other things with this too.
Okay.
So we're going to take the lid off again. Again, we're not going to expose it to the air for too long because that's going to start to change it.
Sure.
So we're going to put it back in here. I'm going
Are
to
we
take it off,
measuring this
hold.
time?
And this time we're going to measure our electroconductivity.
That's the salt.
That's the salt, exactly.
Okay.
So this electroconductivity at the moment is 1,359 what we call millisiemens.
Millisiemens.
And a millisiemen per meter,
Okay.
is the rate at which electricity flows through a solution like this.
Okay. So what should we be looking for there? Like if that had no salt in it, what would the number be?
If this was pure water, there wouldn't be any. It would conduct almost no electricity
yeah.
whatsoever.
Really? Mm-hmm. All right.
So when people say don't go out in a storm with wet feet,
Yeah.
that's because that water has other stuff in it that will conduct that electricity.
And is it the salt?
It's the
That's
salts,
mostly the salt
it's
that's
the
helping.
carbonates, it's all of those ions that are in that water.
Wow.
That's what
really
makes the
cool.
difference.
Okay. Wow.
And that's what makes it important for life. Because life depends on those electrical signals, all those exchanges of electrons, all those chemical processes that are
The
facilitated.
synapses in your mind.
Exactly,
In your brain.
right up to there too. Yeah. So
There you
we can't survive in pure water. Humans will
Okay.
actually die if we just drink pure water. It's
Wow.
the other stuff in the water that allows those processes to happen as well. So we talked about one more thing, which was the total dissolved solids. So at the moment, our total dissolved solids of this area is 680 parts per
Because
million.
it looks really clear. I was
does
surprised
look
when
really
we took
clear.
it out how clear it looked.
And that's because they're dissolved. So they're not undissolved solids,
Yeah.
they're dissolved. They're in solution. In the
Yeah.
same way that salt water, you can't see those little flecks of salt
Course,
floating
course.
in that.
Yeah, okay. That's a silly point to make. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
again, this is around what we would expect for this. It's full of nutrients, it's full of stuff that'll allow that life
Yeah.
to happen.
But we don't know what is dissolved in there from being.
We don't know.
From that.
No. For that, you
Okay.
need to take it back to a lab. You
Yeah.
need to do maybe spectrophotometry or other
Okay.
fancy gizmos that they use in big
So there's
labs.
more work you could do. I mean, as a field scientist, you'd take these initial readings just to give yourself a general idea of how healthy the water is, and then you'd go back to the lab and you'd do a lot more work there.
Yep. So what I would then do with that is I would take this out.
Yeah.
I would very, very carefully seal it up.
Yeah.
I would put a label on the top of this
Okay.
saying where it was collected, what date it was collected,
Sure. Okay.
the time of the day as well.
Yeah,
That's important, right?
Yeah.
Who collected it, because
Yeah.
I might collect it in a different way to yourself.
Sure.
And then that's going to be sent back to the lab.
Okay.
I'd love to have a lab sitting here in the Azraq Wetland, but it's a bit heavy.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Shane.
There we go.